Hi everyone, my name is Lester, and I'm glad here to share my story with you guys. And I want to talk about the cultural difference of education through my stories and three different places. This is my content of my presentation. First, I'm gonna show you guys a map of where to give you guys a basic idea where these places are, and I will share my experience in these countries, and I will explain how they influence me and how I influence them. So as you can see, the distance between these three regions is really far away, which means their cultural system is totally different. And I want to start in China first, my home region. China has the most population around the world. The overall population is a big problem that we face right now. Based on what we learn in this course, overpopulation means scarce of resource and more competition. This is reflected in education system too. In China, if people want to have a good job, they must graduate from good university, which means they must have higher grades than other students in high school. And Chinese parents always hope their children to be successful. So they push them to study, even punish them to force them to study. And that makes Chinese students really stressful. This picture shows the normal situation happens in China. Those books on their desk is all of textbook and homework. We have duty of homework every day. I experienced this too. I can clearly remember when I was in high school, I have to wake up 7 a.m. and starting to study and end at 11 p.m. During this time, we have only like 1 or 2 hours to relax and have lunch or supper. We become a study robot. Also, we are hardworking. Some of us cannot doing well. Unluckily, I was one of them. I started to doubt myself and I become to hate study. At that time, my mind is full of negative thought. I locked myself in my room. I argued with my parents. I argued with my teacher. I don't want to go to school anymore. But a few months later, I realized this is not a solution to solve my problem. I have to change my life. I have to influence the environment. I have to influence my parents. So I talked with my dad. I told him I don't want to be a robot anymore. He gives me an idea, which is to study abroad. He brings me to visit his friends who live in New Zealand. And this is a picture we took in Auckland. That's a really beautiful country. I talked with his friends and his two sons what I experienced, and I asked for help from them. They introduced their life to me, what their school looks like, and how their teacher teaching, and so on. We learn from each other, and after this conversation, I make a decision, really important decision. I decide to be an international student, to study abroad. It's very interesting to know that last time I saw my father's friends, he told me his two children becomes more hardworking than before because of my words. They realize if they want to be successful, they need to be hardworking than others. And that is really funny. I didn't choose New Zealand to study. Although the New Zealand is very beautiful, but it's not suitable for me. The life here is too comfortable. I'm afraid I can't pay enough attention on study. After consider carefully, I chose Canada. Here is the picture of me and my high school teacher in Canada. In Victoria, especially. I studied in Adramel Community School in Victoria, and there's a big challenge I face is language. My English is really bad. I don't want to tell you guys my IELTS score is too shame for me, but my English is really bad. So I find a way to solve this problem. I cannot understand the classes. So I took lots of notes during the class time, whether I understand it or not. And then when I come home, I translate it to Chinese and learn it again. I changed from passive absorption of knowledge to self-learning, and I'm interested in this. Canada culture changed me a lot because of my learning experience. In China, I know a lot about my subject, many subjects. After my English improved, I become friends with my Canadian teachers and classmates. I will tell them how to learn efficiently and tell them some special knowledge in special subject, and they will patiently teach me some words that I cannot understand. And there is another thing I want to mention, which is in Canada high school, in China's high school, students have no right to choose courses. The school will arrange all the courses for students. But in Canada, we can choose major to study in university and then study the targeted courses. For example, if I want to study engineer, I have to pick physics and chemistry. But if I want to choose computer science, I only need to learn about the math and psychology. That is pretty fun. This saves students energy and allow us to focus more on the areas that we want to learn. At the same time, it's also made me clear my goal in life, which is I want to do the research about the artificial intelligence in the future. And I want to make my home region's technology to be progress. And that's what Canada gives me. Those three cultures influence me, and I also influence them by myself's way. And this is my presentation. Thank you for listening.